no reason.
People are not making enough products.
I started to solve that through our formulations.
What was that moment for you? Hey everyone, welcome to Wear Your Story, a podcast that is you. I'm so excited about today's episode. We've got an amazing guest on the show, and we are keeping it super real, talking about beauty, identity, and what it really means to embrace who you are. My guest today is Prerna, founder of Best Life Hair Care. What started as a search to solve her own hair and health concerns led her to a community of women embracing their natural texture in completely new ways. That journey inspired her to build a brand and a product line that helps women fall in love with their curls, waves, and everything in between without trying to change who they are. So, welcome Prerna, and I'm so excited.
Thank you for having me.
So, I have this one question that I ask everyone the moment they come here. If your wardrobe could talk today, what it would say about you?
Oh, that she's very practical yet feminine.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So, I like that. And, it just makes sense when the closet resonates with who we are becoming.
Yeah.
And I just want to jump into the first, question, where I feel like both of us come from a very different spaces, hair and clothing, but we both started off with our struggles.
Yeah.
So what was that moment for you?
So for me, actually, it started off with a health struggle. I was losing hair. I was not being able to lose weight, and then it got connected to thyroid and PCOS. So I started looking out for, I decided not to take medication. That was a very conscious call. So I thought that I'm going to, resolve it with nutrition and lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I started, looking at every single product that I was using, and I was using a lot of them, like from the makeup to the shampoo and everything else. And I started picking up ingredients that were, questionable on the packaging. So I started asking more questions around it and started importing some of them in the sense that, I would always ask whoever was traveling to carry a few along each time, but it was quite a pain. I couldn't understand why we can't create these basic things in India, which are, slightly safer, slightly better for the body than just the ones that are known to be associated with problems. So that was the main reason for creating it. And then it just kind of grew on its own. It had a life of its own. Yeah, much like my hair actually. I discovered my hair type as I went along. So that was also quite a journey. Yeah, and it's really rewarding actually, the whole process of
that. I am sure. And I connect with you a lot here because when I started ISU, it was again on a very similar ground story where I was looking at my closet and I couldn't understand why do I have all of these clothes and yet I can't put anything on me. I had just delivered a baby, my body was changing, my personality was changing, and I looked everywhere, where I could find clothes that are chic, trendy, stylish, yet comforting, right? I don't want to put something on that doesn't look good on me.
Yeah.
And failing to find any of that, ISU was born, and I think it just turned out to be a great start for us.
Yeah.
But you did mention that you figured out your hair type through the journey, and I would love to know that because I'm clueless when it comes to knowing what my hair type is. Someone tells me use this Kerasta's shampoo, use that shampoo. Okay, great, I will do it, but I don't know much. Now that you're here, I would love to know how you really...
Definitely. So, this was a whole learning curve for me also. As soon as I switched my shampoos, I was using shampoos with a lot of silicones in them. Back then, I didn't even know what silicone was.
Yeah.
When I switched to the cleaner formulas, they happened to be silicone free. And that's when I discovered, my hair is not all that straight as I thought it is. It's quite wavy, it's almost curly at the ends, and it also looks a bit rough.
Correct.
So I started to solve that through our formulations, and then the conditioner was actually the game-changing product for us. That was really effective, and I was shocked that 96% natural origin ingredients can give you very similar, if not better, results. And I also then saw that this conditioner is being loved by the curly community in India.
That's amazing.
And those were our core customers. So as COVID happened, and a lot of the customers were sharing their wash days, I thought that our business is coming to a standstill. It's probably just going to get over. But when I saw them sharing their wash days and their stories, I was just like actually blown away. I was just like, this is making them so happy in this stressful time that I have to go after this and kind of serve this community more. And that's when I started experimenting with my hair in terms of styling it, and the whole curly girl routine actually is so good when it comes to fine hair, because I had lost a lot of hair. So when it comes to styling fine hair, it definitely adds volume and your hair looks fuller and thicker instantly. Like you can tell the difference in very clearly in a single wash and style routine. So that was something that was really like amazing for me. And now I feel like there's so much innovation that can happen in this. So yeah, basically I'm working on the product side.
That's amazing. And I have walked around market shelves, and I just feel like people are not making enough products when it comes to specific, either hair types, body types, things like that. Like, I just feel like people are very shy, either shy or not doing enough to make segment related products. And there's an interesting fact that I recently read, like about 62% of the women don't have pin straight hair. Still, when I walk through the shelves, I don't see anything targeting that audience, which is a large market size, right?
It is.
So I mean, how is it for you, like when you have, because as your brand Best Life, it's doing the other way around, right? It is creating for that market. So when you had to go out in the market, what was it like for you?
So actually it was quite a discovery for us also, to realize that so many women were now identifying with their natural hair texture and they were not wanting to alter it. In fact, this was a phenomena we saw more in south of India than in the north. A lot of North Indians actually, when I speak to them, they say that they're not even sure what their hair type is. They're not very sure. But like south, you see almost everyone is very clear that we are curly and we want to style it in the curly girl method. So that was the discovery part for us, and then we started building around that, and I do feel there is a huge market for it, simply because more and more women are going to go through this journey of understanding their hair type.
Right.
And a lot of the wavies also are discovering that wavy hair you just don't have to go after it with a straightener or go for a blow dry. You can also style it differently and get these loose waves, and a lot is changing now with these products.
That's amazing.
The formulations are different.
Yeah, but you also feel like today we are more aware, right, with social media and everything. I remember growing up, I don't, this is not my original hair type, I blow dried my hair, but I feel like it was like so important to look a certain way, right?
Absolutely.
Like to have like hair done in a proper way. Even like now I'm married in Bangalore for 10 years, but I am from Delhi, and every time I come back, my mother's like, if you're coming with me, do a blow dry and come, right? Because that makes up for like 70% of your look.
Yeah.
So, you feel, do you feel that, it's such a big deal for hair to look a certain type, or you feel like today, beyond society's expectation, people have learned to embrace what they have?
I think a lot of the younger generation is really embracing their hair type, and I also see that most people, what they require from their hair is that it shouldn't be too frizzy. Like it shouldn't look untidy. I think that's the key ask that they have as customers, but at the same time they don't know how to kind of articulate this very well. So generally they will always associate once it's straight, it's neat, and that's good enough. There's no other requirement. I don't need to get into the details of wavy and curly and all that. Like that's the typical mindset which is not aware. And the ones who are getting aware are very much switching. Like that change has already set in. And Instagram, thanks to Instagram, we have a lot of awareness.
Makes
the
sense.
Younger generation, yeah.
Yeah, and I also feel like today, even when we are selling ISU to our current customer, our best selling size is 2XL, and people want even at 2XL, 3XL, 4XL, they want the styles to be very trendy, very chic. They want their skin to be seen because they're confident in what they
Exactly.
have, right? And
Yeah.
that's what I love about today's generation. Versus, for me, it took me a while to kind of accept where I am with my body type. I've always been a certain body type.
Yeah.
And when I delivered my first child, I was like under this social pressure to like bounce back and go
Yeah.
back to where I was. And it took about 7 to 8 months to go back to my original weight, but my body changed and
Exactly.
it just felt different. I had like skin popping out from different places, but instead of enjoying motherhood, enjoying that moment, I think I literally went in depression, like,
Oh.
why am I looking like that,
Oh
right?
gosh. Yeah.
And now second time when I'm
Mhm.
pregnant, I just delivered 3 months back. I'm like, I am going to take my own sweet time. It doesn't matter. And this is
Absolutely.
me. And I'm going to enjoy every bit of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's evolving. It's with awareness where we hear more people talking about it.
Yeah. I think as more and more women open up and share about this, I'm so glad that you are, sharing this, because it's really important for the next generation also to feel more comfortable in their body. Just that's so important. Like whatever's the body type, the hair type, just I've been an overweight child, so I can totally relate to this, that it's a lot of added stress for no reason.
Yeah.
And you can like get healthier and back in shape, and actually I feel like de-age in many ways if you just change the lifestyle, but it doesn't have to be this stressful, horrible situation where you're kind of hating on yourself. That should not happen. Yeah, that's like
No, I have been through that, so I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But also I feel like there are not many people talking about it openly, right? I know like there are situations where people feel a certain way. Like today, both of us kind of resonated where we both are founders and we've never come in front of the camera, and this was like one of the first times we both are doing it, and we were like, we both kind of went in front of the mirror to see if our hair is okay, our makeup is okay. I think it's more than societal pressure, our own expectation from ourselves, from how we want ourselves to look.
Yeah. I think it's the conditioning. Like since you're growing up, there's a lot of pressure on young girls itself, that you have to look a certain way, you have to talk a certain way, you have to walk a certain way, especially like, I don't know about you, but like I went to a convent school where this was the only emphasis, even more than academics, and sports was so like forgotten. That was just like not important back then. So I feel like I'm really grateful that things are changing now, but it's still very few women talking about it. They should just come out and share their stories, normalize this whole thing so that people are more comfortable.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that. And also like when we are having like that phase of like having kids and making them feel comfortable in this social media world where everything has to be perfect. I think it's going the other way around instead of making it more candid.
Yeah, that's also there, I guess. Yes, it has a flip side for sure, that people are chasing the image more than the substance.
So, just coming to that part where your audience on its own is someone who somewhere within her has felt at one point that I wish my hair was straight, right? What does your audience look like, and are they like engaging and coming out and be like, I am proud curly girl, or I love the way
absolutely they love it, they totally love it. And that's actually one of the biggest things that motivated me also to go deeper into this, because I just saw that it's women being themselves rather than trying to be someone else. They were not even bothered by things like, they were not looking for photoshopped models in your ads, and they did not want, in fact we tried to do a professional shoot that didn't work well at all. So that's when I realized that they just want to be seen in ways which are most relatable, and they want to connect with people who look like them, talk like them. And these are women in their 30s, someone's a homemaker, someone's a corporate career woman, but at the same time they're also just women who enjoy doing their hair.
Yeah.
So, and sharing that on social media. So yeah, I think
Makes sense. That's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And when you have such a strong community
Hmm.
of women who want to come out and talk about what you are creating, it's wonderful. And
Yeah.
I know your brand started with curly hair product, and now I feel like it's gone way beyond that.
It has, yes. As we kind of learned the customer more, and we also realized that there are other people who want clean products, especially products like hair masks, which are just so good for any hair type. They work across curly, straight, wavy, and they just deep condition the hair and prevent basic breakage that happens due to friction, due to dryness, and even UV damage. So it's just like a really good product to have, and it's very practical. Like you just shampoo, put on the mask, wash it off, and you're done. On most days,
Yeah.
actually, that's my routine. It's just very easy.
That's easy.
Yeah.
So nothing about like oiling your hair, like that desi chumpy that we've heard growing up.
So yeah, that's also very much a part, but that's something I do once in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think everybody has a different routine. Like they just
Yeah.
customize their own.
Yeah, like my mother is a big hair freak, like hair product freak, and she's given me like some 7-step routine. But what you're telling me is making more sense. Like if you're using chemical-free products,
Yeah.
it's easy to maintain, and everything else that we do to our hair is just damaging. But your entire journey of Westlife, do you feel like more of yourself today after you started this?
Totally. I can't even, probably articulate that very well. But yeah, the woman I was like just a few years ago has transformed, because each day as the business has grown, it required a different person actually. So I had to train and upskill myself and also the team. And in the beginning, we didn't have the budgets to hire very highly skilled people. So it was about teaching people who were just freshers, like how to go about it and understanding it yourself. You're learning it yourself. So this is the first time.
Yeah.
And you're also trying to teach. So that was I think it changes you from within. Yeah. Like the kind of person I am, I've become far less critical, far more forgiving, and kind of this whole spiritual journey which you kind of hear, I had to actually implement it, because there was just no other way of growing personally and growing the business. Yeah.
Right.
So I felt
Yeah.
like that tied in very well, and I've transformed quite a bit.
No, I agree with you, and I think my business has taught me patience. I growing up was like a very impatient person, and even like very recently. But you meet people from all kinds of places, and you kind of learn from them. And what work has kind of taught me is to stay grounded, to be patient, and kind of unlearn on the way.
Absolutely.
But also, while we are founding our businesses, right, we are creating something valuable out there. I feel like through this journey, at least for me, I have had so many real stories from these women who have kind of felt an impact through the product, and that was the most empowering moment for me.
Yeah.
Have you had some interesting stories from your customer or
Yes.
consumer base?
So many actually, yeah. So a lot of them have reported, but I just remember the first time, when this first customer of ours, she called me and she was like, "Prerna, I was buying a 2500 shampoo and now I've switched to yours and it's so cheap." I was like, okay. So she's like, "I'm never going back to that." Like she's like, "This shampoo is actually better." And that's when I realized, you're actually doing a good job.
Yeah. No, that's amazing, and that's when you feel like this is the moment I am building this for, right?
Yeah.
And it becomes like a game changer for you.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like, while we are at this, somewhere we forget about ourselves, because we have family to take care of, we have our everyday routine, then a business which acts like the first child of our lives.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like I have forgotten what self-care really means. But somewhere in the journey, I realized that self-care also means mental peace, emotional stability, and then you know, that's when I realized the moment, or the more I agree with who I am and where I really belong, it becomes easier for me to be at it. Like,
Yes.
how do you feel?
I also feel just the same. Actually, the moment I started, you know, instead of seeing things as, oh, these are the problems or this is what I have to fix, the moment I started to say, okay, this is it. This is your starting point. You can make it better.
Yeah.
So, you know, the inner dialogue kind of shifted, and then you kind of want to put in the work to make it better, because otherwise it just seems like such a grind and you're always chasing a goal, and it's just like, you know, you're never arriving.
Yeah.
So you always feel dissatisfied, and I had to really work on myself emotionally for that, you know, be present, be satisfied in this moment, and then take it to the next stage, rather than feel like, oh God, it's not happened, and that has not happened.
So live in the moment, basically.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And honestly, things happen, life happens. I think we just need to take it one thing at a time and keep going on that path. So if you could tell something to your past, maybe 20 something, what would you say?
I would just tell her to be kinder to herself, and sort of not feel rejected and dejected with, you know, small failures, because those are just part of life and it's part of that whole journey. And also break down her goals. Like, you know, I used to get very attached to the idea of arriving and chasing something. It's no longer like that for me. I feel like I want to live life to the fullest on every single day, as opposed to, you know, spending most of it in dissatisfaction, thinking that what's not gone right is more important than what is going right. So
Makes sense.
Yeah, that just shifted with age, I think.
Yeah.
You get wiser.
I think that's like hit the right spot, because I think that's what we're all trying to do. It comes down to embracing every bit of ourselves, not letting societal pressure or pressure created by ourselves come in our way, because it ends up affecting our agenda in life, our life goals. So yeah, thank you, Prerna, for coming in.
Thank you.
It was such an inspiring conversation. I think couple of minutes over and we didn't even realize. But I hope you all find it inspiring enough. And thank you for watching us.
Yes, thank you.
Keep wearing your story and don't let clothes make you fit in. Clothes should fit your body.